with the hardware on the line and looking to keep 35th and Shields as home for the next year, Sox fans would need a big game performance. You got him. Here you go.
What a job, and a standing ovation for James Shields. That's about as good as it gets.
A 2-game Southside sweep of the Cubs gives our Sox 4 consecutive victories and now a push for 5 as the intra-city series shifts to the friendly confines. We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Todd Frazier, Melky Cabrera, Jose Abreu, and our Sox as they get set to butt heads with Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, and Joe Maddon's first place Chicago Cubs. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you Game 3 of this 4-game set. As you know, we played the first 2 at our place. We're going to play tonight and tomorrow night here in their place. But, you know, Steve, that 2-game sweep of the Cubs in our place put us on that 4-game winning streak. But that's not they've all been exciting baseball games.
If you take a look at the numbers from that streak, you'll realize it really hasn't been the offense consistently getting it done. What it has been is batting average with runners in scoring position. It's the amount of runs. As you can see, they're okay. But the overall ERA of 2.25 and starters ERA of .78 really has gotten the job done. And Jose Abreu is helping to lead the way. Sox are waiting for him to heat it up. He's doing just that. Over the last 5 games, hitting .471. He's driven in 4. He's walked 3 times, which is a good sign. And he's hitting the ball all over the field. So you'd have to say that Jose, at this point offensively, is starting to do exactly what they thought he was going to do when this year started.
Well, Miguel Gonzalez was just outstanding in Game 1 at our place. And then big game James Shields last night was just magnificent. But the thing about it is tonight, we got a rookie out there as far as we're concerned, a 6'7" right-hander.
We've got a gigantic right-hander, Anthony Renato, who goes to the mound. Originally, he was drafted by Theo Epstein in the Boston Red Sox. There you look at some video. That was in Charlotte, where he went 5-3, which was good, 3.20 ERA, which was pretty good. Just 8 walks and 53 strikeouts. So he's got good stuff. He's got a good overhand curve. And his mound opponent will be Jason Hamill. You saw before the All-Star break last year, 2.86 ERA after 5.10. So things got a little tough for him second half of the year. 2.11 his ERA, or batting average against, before the break, and 2.85 after the break. Hopefully, this being after the break, the Sox can get on top of them tonight. The wind is blowing in, so it is a factor, and a bigger factor in this park than any other park.
All right, we're trying to push this win streak to 5, but to do that, we'll have to beat one of the best home teams in the league. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Sox baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field on the north side of town. And we're going to go down on the field to talk with Sierra Santos about Anthony Renato and the fact that he's no stranger to a big ball game.
Yeah, Anthony Renato making his White Sox pitching debut tonight. Ironically, he was drafted 39th overall by Theo Epstein and the Red Sox in 2010. And like you said, Steve, he is no stranger to these hyped-up rivalry games. He actually made his big league debut for the Red Sox pitching against the Yankees.
My major league debut was a Friday night game. I started at Fenway against the Yankees, so a little bit, yeah. And I grew up a Yankee fan, so there was a big dynamic there. And so yeah, no, I played in some big games. I pitched at Yankee Stadium when I was with the Red Sox and stuff. So pitched against the Astros last year with the Rangers. So there's been some battles, but this one I'm really looking forward to. I mean, last night, like you saw in the stadium, 50,000 people. I mean, it's electric. So I'm really excited about it.
And Renato grew up a lifelong Yankees fan in New Jersey. And how about this? He actually played against the other White Sox Jersey boy, Todd Frazier. Frazier swears he hit a bomb off Renato. Renato maintains it went foul. So we'll let you guys decide. We'll have to get a definitive answer. Guys, I'll send it back upstairs to you.
Thank you, Sierra. And let's take a look at how Robin is going to line them up tonight. Adam Eaton leading it off, and it's Tim Anderson, Melky Cabrera, Jose Abreu, Todd Frazier, J.B. Shuck, Deanna Navarro, Tyler Saladino, who's been heating it up lately, and Anthony Renato, who doesn't have an at-bat. He's going to get his first tonight. A Honda City defensive setup, and how Joe Madden is going to put them out on the field in back of Jason Hamill, Ben Zobrist in left, Dexter Fowler in center, Jason Hayward in right. Then it's Bryant, Russell, Baez, and Rizzo in the infield. Miguel Montero behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Jason Hamill. He's a big right-hander. On for his 20th start, he's 9-5 this year. The ERA a pretty good 3.35. 90 strikeouts in 107 innings. He's got a good slider. The occasional changeup, not too often. But he is a candidate to bunt against. Take a look at the umpires for tonight. Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate. The crew chief Jerry Land at first. Scott Berry is at second, and Tripp Gibson is at third. So with the wind blowing toward the Cub dugout, we're ready to play baseball as Adam Eaton steps in. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Stoney. Thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for Game 3 of this 4-game set. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. A couple of big right-handers out there. Hamill, 6'6", 225, and Renato, 6'7", 240. So they're waiting for the clock. Hunter Wendelstedt says thank you. And let's get it done, boys. First pitch of the ball game. Eaton hitting at 278, 2 for 7 in the series with a homer. And there's the strike, bottom of the zone. That's foul back. Sox come in hitting at 250 as a team with a 3.31 ERA. Check that. 4.02 ERA.
Robin looking out at his ball club, going for 5 in a row. The Cubs have been very good in this ballpark. They're 30-16 at home.
One down.
Hamill just reached back, threw his best fastball. It's right over the middle of the plate, and hit him with no contact.
So here's Anderson, Tim, at 272, 5 homers, 12 driven in. Russell. And quickly, 2 down.
Hamill was traded away by the Cubs along with Jeff Samardzija. In that deal, it brought Addison Russell back from Oakland along with Billy McKinney. They used McKinney to get Aroldis Chapman. He was one of the 4 they sent to the Yankees, and they signed Hamill as a free agent. So they traded him away, got value for him at the trade deadline, and then got him back as a free agent.
Here's Melky. Well, that's doing some fancy trading.
They made some pretty good deals. Theo's made some pretty good deals.
Theo's made some real good
deals. Yes, he has. Look, they were in a situation Oakland knew they needed pitchers to make it to the playoffs, and so they got both Samardzija and Hamill, but they had to trade away their number 1 and 3 prospects. McKinney helps them get another player, the guy that they think they need in the bullpen, Aroldis Chapman, and Addison Russell's going to be good for a long time at short.
Well, let's not leave out Jed Hoyer. They've made some good deals.
There's look at 22-year-old Addison Russell, the number 1 prospect at the time for Oakland. Fits quite nicely into this infield of the Cubs.
And there is ball 4. And fans, now you can vote for your pick to click before each game. Visit WhiteSox.com/pick to click and decide who you think will be the next White Sox position player of the game. And of course, there they are, Brayu and the fans. Crew, Chuck, Steve with Melky, and I'm gonna stay right with them on the street. JJ Shearer, Mike Ditka, Diana Ditka, and all the great folks at Diska's Restaurants. And we're not going to forget about Dina Spadali. Outfield slightly to the right. Bit of gap in left center. Abreu at 276, 11 homers, 56 driven in.
Hamill has a good move to first base, yet he's not a particularly good fielder. And Hayward in right, Fowler in center, both have really deepened it up. And Joe Madden believes that playing deeper will make them, and has made them, better outfielders.
That's just do the math.
Yeah.
You ask mediocre outfielders or guys trying to become good outfielders are playing shallow, and you're doing them a very big disservice.
Well, that's what Dexter Fowler was doing because he played in 2 gigantic outfields. He was at Coors Field in Denver. That's a huge outfield. Then he went to Minute Maid Park in Houston, another big center field. And because he was a shallow center fielder, he had a lot of balls go over his head for doubles and triples. That just tears apart your zone rating, and he got a bad rap as being a suspect outfielder. But since coming here, they've moved him back. He's doing a whole lot better, and the roots are better. And now he's running down some balls in the alley that he wouldn't have otherwise gotten to.
Well, it's a simple thing of forget about the zone rating. You being a pitcher, it tears your pitchers apart.
Yeah, you would certainly like him to make those catches, give up the singles, don't give up the doubles and triples.
That's it.
Give him the green light here.
Anytime he wants it. Anytime. Takes it right down the middle. That might be the best pitch you'll get all night to hit.
Hamill's given up 15 home runs this year.
Well, the thing you fight for as a hitter is the count. The thing you fight for as a pitcher is the count. So we're both fighting for the same thing. Now, when you get it your way, even if he fouls it back, a lot of times you'll see a guy with a 3-0 count who's a good hitter, and he is one of our best, take the 3-0 count right down the middle like he did, and then strike out.
Well, he took one down the middle, then got one right in on his hands. A much better pitch to hit on the 3-0 than the 3-1.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see now with Melky off with the pitch and Rizzo well behind him at first base. Usually takes a force out of the equation.
After a half inning of play, it's our guys nothing, and their guys coming to play.
Cubs for the game tonight. It's going to be Fowler, Bryan, and Rizzo at the top with Zobrist, Montero, Russell in the middle, and last 9. Addison's heating it up, and Hayward, Baez, and Hamill rounding it out. On to City defensive setup, and now Robin is going to line him up behind Anthony Renato. Cabrera, Shuck, and Eaton in the outfield with Frazier, Anderson, Saladino, and Abreu in the infield. Deanna Navarro behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuit Perfection starting pitcher is the aforementioned Anthony Renato. Those are the numbers at AAA. They're pretty good.
And here's Dexter. 286. All right. 26-year-old out of Jackson, New Jersey.
Although Fowler doesn't run all that much, he's still a pretty good runner. 6 stolen bases, been caught 3 times. Coming back from a hamstring problem, but you'd just as soon not walk him. This is a potent lineup.
There's one. Three and 1 to count.
Leadoff walks will consistently get you in trouble, especially and then you're staring down at Bryant, Rizzo, and Zobrist.
Chris 2 for 9 in the series, hitting at 283, 25 homers and 65 driven in. Close pitch, didn't get it.
A lot of people talking about the MVP and the close race it's shaping up to be between Bryant and Rizzo. But there's another guy to factor in.
Pops him up right side. Abreu. One out.
Sometimes when there is two guys on the same team, you might split some votes that you wouldn't ordinarily split, and that's when Nolan Arenado, who's having a magnificent year now, I don't believe his team is going to win, but they could make it interesting still, and Arenado's got some big numbers in many categories, bigger than both of these guys.
Well, you and I both feel approximately the same way about the awards.
Yeah.
Unless it's just a situation of whereas the pitcher is just, unbelievable and didn't have a real good offensive player on a winning team. That's the only way I can ever think that the pitcher can get the Cy Young and the MVP.
No, I believe a Cy Young is fine. They have their award. As far as MVP, that goes to an everyday player and a hitter.
I agree, unless there's just nobody out there every day who had a big year,
But you and I both saw Arenado, and we've seen him now for a few years. A magnificent third baseman for the Colorado Rockies, and when you look at his offensive numbers, they're pretty stout across the board.
You talk to some scouts. You talk to a lot of scouts as I do. You talk to some scouts, they'll tell you he's the best third baseman in baseball.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Rizzo. 287. 24 homers. 76 knocked in. These guys have knocked in 141 runs between them. That's Bryant and Rizzo. Nice by Deanna.
Bryant's really not going to be a two-hitter during the course of his career because he's a much better hitter than that. But they're hitting him in the two spot because Jason Hayward was not getting it done. And they want Rizzo to protect Bryant in this situation. Now, Joe Madden doesn't have the ideal guy to protect Rizzo, but he puts Zobrist behind him because Zobrist is dangerous.
And he makes contact a lot. If you don't have somebody who's really a big power threat behind a guy like Rizzo, you got to put a guy in there who makes contact.
Zobrist does it from both sides of the plate.
That helps also.
He's been a very good player for them.
So the second walk of the inning. And here comes Zobrist.
Tyler Saladino comes in to talk with Anthony Renato.
And there are a lot of managers in baseball that would like to have Ben Zobrist on their ball club.
He was out there, and there weren't a lot of teams wanted to give him 4 years. The Cubs were one of those teams because nobody knew Ben Zobrist better than Joe Madden. He played for him at Tampa Bay for a long time. He realized his effect on a baseball team and his versatility and the fact that he'll give you a great outing regardless of where you put him.
There's a strike. Well, in today's game, it's changed to the degree that the manager, in my opinion, has got to have an input into possible trades. But in a lot of cases, more than half, in my opinion, they don't have a say-so.
Oh, well, that's true. Sometimes they find out about it after the fact.
That's a fact. The GM will call him up and say, "Hey, Steve, I just got you Jimmy Jones."
Well, that's really good. Didn't
I just
really
got
want
you-
him, but thank you.
Yeah,
I
right.
appreciate
Exactly.
that. But Joe Madden, has input with Jed Hoyer and Theo Epstein. And he certainly wanted Zobrist. Renato has got to show these Cubs he can get something other than a fastball over the plate, and Zobrist has grounded into 12 double plays this year. He's a better hitter from the right side, a much more powerful hitter from the left side.
Well, he was looking for it. He got it. Out and around it. Hit it hard.
Got a fastball right down the middle.
No score, bottom of the first if you're just tuning in. That's yanked foul.
So we got Gary Jones, the third base coach. He's keeping a close eye on Dexter Fowler. Brandon Hyde, the first base coach. He's keeping a close eye on Rizzo, and specifically on Jose Abreu if he decides to sneak in back of him.
Negative. All right. 2 down. And already one of the critical outs in this ball game comes to the plate.
This turns out to be a pretty good pitch. A lot of sink on it. And here's where the catcher's the captain, because Deanna Navarro is going to tell him you only got one play. He's yelling first all the way because the play is in front of Navarro. But Renato's got his back to the play, and he did only have the one play. Would settle a whole lot of butterflies down if he could get out of the inning with Montero.
Well, that's what we're just thinking about, both of us. Is so far he looks like the duck on the pond.
Yeah.
Cool and calm up top, and those little feet paddling like hell underneath. It's all right. Even though he missed with that one just inside, that's not a bad start.
We tried to cut it in on his hands, and if Montero looks out there, he'll find Saladino about as deep at second base on the grass as you'll see.
It's a good thing he's got a good arm.
And he is out there.
Yeah, that particular angle doesn't show you just how far he is. There, you got it. Way out there. And he's going to go down, make the play, and he pitches over the 2 walks. And after 1, no score.
Cold one to look forward to Miller time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And you can follow Dan Hayes, our White Sox insider, all season long on CSNChicago.com. Presented by The Great Escape. Pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, and more. Escape your everyday. Shop The Great Escape. Frazier, Chuck, Navarro. Top of the second, no score. That's off the glove of the 6'5" Chris Bryant. That's a bullet.
He got a first ball fastball and absolutely drilled it inside part of the plate and down. That was the key, down where he could handle it. It's a blast. It goes up as far as he could, but at the top of his leap, it hits off the glove.
You touched on it earlier.
Yeah, if they want to, they'll have bunt possibilities with Hamill, and so Bryant has to play him a little closer. And there's a look at it, at least an attempt.
If the pitch misses, it's a real good concept. If the pitch is a fastball right down the middle, not so good a concept.
You can run on Montero, and that's one of the things that Sox will try to do with Frazier. I'll assume that Hamill is not going to allow him that walking lead, but if he does, and Hamill is closed, meaning that left foot is way swung over toward third base, so he's got to go a long way with that leg, and that gives a base runner an extra step.
That's flared left field. And Zobrist is there for out number 1. So here's DeHonor. 0 for 5 in this series, hitting at .203, 5 homers, 25 knocked in.
And they're playing his 68th ball game, and with Alex Avila on the shelf and having a setback in his rehab, Navarro getting a whole lot of play. Much stronger from the right side. Average about the same from both sides. You look at the numbers at Wrigley Field, and DeHonor really loves to hit here. So that's a good sign.
Well, he sure hurt us here one series. Jerry Lane rings him up.
You see Jerry Lane saying that he got the hand. Todd Frazier doesn't think so. They're probably going to take a look at it and see if he does get back. He was trying that walking lead. Hamill just let him get out about as far as he could. Looked like he got in under the tag. Watch it again. Long way to go on that tag. Well, he's in before the tag.
Yeah,
so
he's
this
safe.
this one's going to be reversed.
Those angles mean everything. One of them, it's amazing how one can look. He's out. Next you see another angle.
Had this throw been on the bag, it would have been no contest. He would have been out. But because the throw was high, and probably Rizzo had to go, I'm guessing 3.5 feet for the tag. That's all it took for Todd, we believe, up here to get back in. We'll have to see what it looks like down there. So we'll get as close as we possibly can. Watch that right arm. He's on the bag before the tag.
Nice camera work, guys. He's safe.
Could turn out to be a big play because Navarro enjoys this ballpark, and there is a gap in right center field.
And there's a big gap between first and second. That's the thing. You can, in the situation right here, with that big hole over there between first and second, you can get a first and third situation. Just get it down on the ground to the right.
Sox are going to run every chance they get on Dexter Fowler in center field. Hayward, pretty good throwing arm, very accurate in right field. There's a look at Dexter.
Little plays like that can be so meaningful. Most hitters really enjoy the guy we're having to work from the stretch rather than a wind up. Most hitters, boy, Omar Vizquel was just a magician at this situation here with a big hole over there like that. Omar now a coach.
Also from a psychological standpoint, he's already been called out. You're thinking nobody on, 2 outs, you're going to go at Navarro. Now, all of a sudden, you got a guy who might steal a base at first. You're still in the stretch, and Navarro, who hits well in his ballpark, creates a problem for you.
One out, 2-1 to count. Watch out.
Montero with a quick throw. Rizzo on the one hop couldn't come up with it. It would have been interesting at first, but I don't believe he'd have gotten him. But he wants to shorten up that secondary lead. So on the cutter inside, he drops to one knee, goes behind the left-hander, which is something catchers will do.
If he makes the real good throw there, he's out.
Yep. Quick. Very quick release on that.
But he didn't, and he's safe. Yanks that one foul down past Darryl Boston.
And the young ball guy went out to get it and slipped. So it looked like it was going to be a good play right up until that. He'll have a redeemer.
Two. That ball hit well into left center field, but Zobrist is there.
Well, unfortunately, the injuries keep piling up as Brett Lawrie goes on the disabled list. It was backdated. He's been out for 6 games. Eventually couldn't battle it anymore. So he was hitting the ball out of the ballpark, and he was starting to heat it up. This is a big loss, certainly offensively. Tyler Saladino's done a great job, but Brett Lawrie was a mainstay. When a whole lot of people weren't hitting, he was. And there's a look at the man who's going to get a whole lot of play, and he's been doing it very well.
He's been up to it. Tyler 2 for 6 with 2 big RBIs in this series.
This is actually not a bad time to send Frazier, only in that if he is gunned down, you lead off the next thing with Saladino, not Renato.
Yeah, if he gets to 0-2, plus you give him another at bat. 1-1 to count. Sox lead the all-time series. We have won 57 games. Cubs have won 49. Right now, if I were
Yeah, here's your
Todd, I
counts.
would send him, and if I were the Cubs, I would have a pitch out.
Yeah, we'll see what Montero wants. Looks like he's calling for a slider away. Good pitch to run.
Yeah, it is. There he goes. High in the right field. And that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the second. Still no score. When you think mortgage in Chicago, think E-Click Lending. With rates at an all-time low, don't wait. Lock in your low rate today with E-Click Lending. You never pay lending fees. Point, click, save. E-Click Lending. Addison Russell. Addison, the 248, 11 homers, 56 knocked in. Can of corn.
Provide your guests with the ultimate all-inclusive White Sox experience in the home plate club or Magellan Scout seats. These two premium seating areas are the best way to entertain your most important clients, employees, friends, or family. For more information, call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com/premium seating.
There's Jason Hayward. First pitch strike. Jason at 228, 4 homers, 28 driven in. So they're waiting for this guy to get heated up a little bit as that's into left field, right back on the track. Because he's a whole lot better than those numbers tell you.
Hit that ball awfully hard, and Melky, realizing where he was, drifted to the spot and made the catch. He doesn't want to get tangled up in the ivy. That makes it a lot more difficult, but with the wind blowing across now, it didn't help or hurt that one. That was a line drive rocket. Melky's got it easily.
Well, if they can get Hayward heated up with that bat, they're really going to be pretty good.
Well, they would love, ideally, they'd love to hit him second. And then you put Brian Rizzo behind him, because with Fowler getting on, and if Hayward can get on, that will cause some big problems for National League pitchers.
Yeah. Baez, like Addison Russell, great looking young player. Russell, as I mentioned, 22, Baez 23. And if you look at what their Keystone combination has, they have 21 home runs and 91 RBIs. So that, not too shabby.
No, they can both really play, and you see the last 21 games, Baez hitting .360. He's hit 3 home runs, driven in 10, scored 9. He's just getting better and better, and now he's cut down his strikeouts.
Well, you see that face protector there that Baez has and Jason Hayward has and Giancarlo Stanton have. I tell you, to my opinion, they should make everybody wear those. And I'm talking about from Little League on up.
I think you have much more of a sense of security when you're hitting with that. Doesn't mean you're not. It doesn't mean you're not going to get hit. It just means that you have an extra layer of protection.
I think that they should. Every hitter should wear those things from the time they first pick up a bat. But there's too much macho still in this game.
There's a touch of that, yes.
To Hopper. Nice inning for the big man, and we're into the third. Watch history unfold as our Bulls introduce hometown product Dwayne Wade to the media. Live coverage from the Advocate Center starts at 2 on CSN Plus and streaming live at csnchicago.com. And poof, there they are, Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. What a player.
For a long time.
Oh, yeah. Anthony Renato.
Well, the old adage here is swing hard in case you hit something.
Well, he stands up there pretty good. His movement into the pitch is pretty good.
With his counterpart, Jason Hamill is a good hitter.
Yeah, Hamill's hitting .250. Hey, pretty good swing, too.
We'll get a fastball right down the middle and took a good pass at it.
Another pretty good pass at it. Got him on the fist, but still Not bad. 1 out. Better than most.
Yeah, not
pitchers.
bad at bat. He hit the ball pretty well. Baez thought he caught it on the fly. I think that Jerry Lane thought otherwise, so he had to complete the play. He traps that ball, but then decides he's going to run away with it. Fortunately for him, he did complete the play.
Up the middle. Addison with a nice little move. So Adam Eaton retired, 2 down.
Tim should take a look at Bryant at third base, see where he's setting up. Right now he's even with the bag, although he is coming in a couple of steps. You'll see him actually moving forward with the pitch.
Anderson grounded out to his counterpart, Addison Russell. Finale tomorrow night. Chris Sale against John Lackey. And there is a little soft line drive into center field for the base hit.
We told you how deep Fowler plays, and this is a sinking line drive. He can't get to it. So Tim Anderson keeps the inning alive. And a base stealing threat with Melky up.
Well, you know, talking about the depth, that, as you know, that's one of my favorite things in baseball. That's the last thing I do before every pitch is check the outfielders. It's just a habit.
Yep.
You do it as a runner, you do it as a player. Positioning is a beautiful thing in the game of baseball. And whenever you get a guy who can come in as well as go back, now you're talking like a guy like Austin Jackson. But so he can play a little shallower, even though Austin plays it back fairly deep anyway. But we were talking about him today. That was a big hurt for this ball club because nothing hit the ground in April out there.
And Chuck has done a real good job. So that time made it in easily. We told you the stolen base is always there on this combination of Hamill and Montero. He one-hopped it, but Tim Anderson got too big a jump, and that's his 4th stolen base of the year. He's going to steal a lot of them as his career moves along. That high leg kick allows a base runner to get a good 2 steps, and no chance at all at second.
Here's Melky. He drew a walk his first trip.
Just as the weather has heated up, so has Melky. Each and every month, April, May, June, and now July, each successive month has gotten better.
A ball and 2 strikes with 2 down here in the top of the 3rd. Got him. And we'll go to the bottom of the 3rd scoreless.
Rocket Arms, and everybody worries about 4 or 5 in the rotation, but take a look at James Shields and Miguel Gonzalez. Last 5 for Gonzo and last 6 for James Shields, including a brilliant performance last night. The ERA's great. The quality starts, each and every one, and the rest of the numbers look awfully good for both of those members of the starting Sox rotation.
Here's Hamill. Takes first pitch strike from our 6'7" right-hander. Hamill, as we mentioned, hitting at 250. No homers, he's driven in 7. So he's a little bit dangerous. You get him up there in the right situation. And the count 0-2.
We didn't see it because it was in our ballpark, but Jake Arrieta hitting up close to 300 at 293. So he's been a huge factor swinging the bat.
Got a barehanded and makes the play. 1 out.
He knows Hamill does not have good speed, so he does take his time, get it over there with about 1.5 steps to spare. It's Hamill thinking about a base hit. Nice play by Todd.
He didn't think very long.
No. He knows he's got to go out there in a 0-0 game to this point.
Well, here's the leadoff man. Here's Dexter. He walked to lead off the bottom of the first. Takes a strike, but didn't get it. 1-0 the count. Got that one.
Good curveball shaving off the inside corner.
In case you're just tuning in, it appeared that Anthony Renato in the bottom of the first was a little bit nervous, which you can certainly expect.
Yeah, first start of the year. First start for our Sox in a packed ballpark. So when you walk a couple, you know that you just don't have everything together. But last couple innings have been pretty good.
Yeah, he pitched out of it.
Yep.
Pitched out with those 2 walks in the first inning.
6 straight retired into the Fowler at bat.
He gone.
Well called by Navarro, well executed by Renato. He throws a high fastball and throws it right by Fowler. So that is strikeout number 1.
Well, there's a difference in 92-mile-an-hour fastballs. A 92-mile-an-hour fastball from a guy like yourself, who's shorter,
Yeah.
versus a guy who's 6'7" in a 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Much better angle. Much better angle. And you know, Hamill and Renato approximately the same size.
Bryant popped up to Abreu. High pop up. Oh, he got a cookie there and missed it.
Chris Bryant is starting to really heat it up. The last 25, 333 with 7 home runs, 6 doubles. He scored 24 and he's driven in 14.
That was a nice interview by Sierra Santos with Anthony about pitching in some big games. His major league debut was against the Yankees in a Red Sox uniform. And he seemed, his delivery was very confident.
Well, you certainly remember the intensity that is the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry. And he was able to be thrust right in the middle of it and didn't seem overawed, at least in his explanation of what went on.
There's a shot foul. Well, playing for the Red Sox and then being there for a long time, I saw some things happen in that in that rivalry that really you had to see it to believe it. And one of them being Red Sox playing against the Yankees. They call it the Boston Massacre. And the Red Sox came in there and swept all 4 games. They Anderson's got him. Yeah. And we'll finish that when we get back. Meanwhile, we're into the 4th. No score. Fourth inning, no score. And getting back to the rivalries. In the final game of that 4-game set, the Yankees won the first 3. Don Zimmer was managing the Red Sox, and before the game went down, he had made his lineup out, and they were going to pitch a kid named Bobby Sproul, left-hander, little left-hander.
Remember him?
As here is Abreu, who struck out his first trip. I asked Popeye, I said, Popeye, are you going to start this kid today? Because Louis Tiant wanted the ball. Mike Torres wanted the ball. He said, Hawk, I'm only doing what our scouts tell me. They say this kid's got ice in his veins.
That did work out.
He never got out of the first inning.
Too much ice.
Yeah, that's right. It's too much. But he never got out of the first inning. But here's the sad part of that. That was towards the end of the season. The Yankees came back and won a playoff game and went on to win the World Championship. Next year, Bobby Sproul comes to spring training and cannot hit the cage. Cannot hit the cage. He hit the cage about half the time.
Happened to Rick Ankiel. Very similar situation.
Yeah. So these things can change careers. These rivalries, as that's popped up right side. And the reason I say that is because of the fact there's 3 things that make the great game of baseball what it is. First of all, it's great players. It's tradition. And the third thing is rivalries. You have to protect the schedule makers have to protect the rivalries, and they don't do a very good job of it. They used to, but not anymore. I mean, to me, it's terrible to have our club playing the Cubs on a Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night in succession. Absolutely terrible. Last year was good. 2 years prior to that, we had to play them on a Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night.
Well, last year, because we were playing the Central of the National League, we actually played them 6 times. 3 at home, 3 away,
right.
And it was split up.
On the weekend.
Yeah.
Where the fans saw it at our place, and then a couple of weeks later, 3 weeks later, saw it over here at this place. So it gave the rivalry time to grow again. And here we're going to get done with this thing in 4 days, 4 night games on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And Dave Ross tells us that's right. I forgot about that. That series was played in early May 2 years ago. So, I mean, that's ridiculous. One of the greatest rivalries in all the sports, the Sox and the Cubs. And you're going to play them 4 straight games early in May? Come on. That's ridiculous. Tide had a rocket off the glove of Chris Bryant for a base hit.
That time able just to stay alive.
And look at the scheduling for us this year. 1 off day in April.
Yeah, that was certainly a very tough stretch.
Oh, that was ridiculous. Checks it up. I know one thing. If you go back and you check it out, in April of this year, we had the best bullpen in baseball. We had a 23, started off 23-10. And in May, with only one early off day in May, so in essence, you had like a month and a half where we only had 2 off days. In April, we got the best bullpen. May, we had the worst bullpen. Now, what's the only 2 reasons you can have that?
Well, somebody's hurt or they just get pitched out.
Exactly. Pitched out. That's exactly what happened. We didn't have any injuries. It was just a schedule.
Not at that point.
That ball hit hard in the gap. Nobody's going to get that one. So now he will pull up at second. And that is his 10th two-bagger.
Hayward got to that one, got it back in. And a chance to break through. Todd Frazier in scoring position. Looked like a slider, didn't do a great deal. He went down and got it. And Hayward, the first man to get to it.
So here's Shuck. One thing about Tide, as I said, one of these days he's going to look in that mirror, and that mirror is going to tell him, big man, you can really hit. And when he does, when he figures it out, he's going to hit 40 or 50 a year. But he's got a chance to hit 40 this year.
Yeah, I would say the long ball for him has not been an issue.
Well, you know what? If you want to get a little technical about Frazier, he's more or less a shoulder hitter. When his shoulders are active, his swing is short. When his shoulders are passive, he's got to use his hands more, and that's when he starts chasing those bad pitches low and away. And he can't catch up with the one up here. And that is not an uncommon situation for strong guys.
So you got to lay off of one of them. If you lay off one, you're going to be able to hit. If you're swinging at both, it'll be a long spell for you.
You preaching to the choir.
Long spell.
The more active the shoulders, the shorter the swing. The more passive the shoulders, the bigger the swing. I'll tell you, we had a guy like that, had the best half I've ever seen a guy have. I don't like him. I didn't like him personally when he was in the ball club. Bad for a team. Albert Bell. But he could hit.
He was some hitter.
When he used his shoulders, I'll tell you what, you couldn't get him out. He can get himself out, but you couldn't get him out. Full count. And that is ball 4. So a good, solid at bat for Shuck. The honor went out to Zobrist in left field.
So Montero going out. He doesn't like the way this inning is starting to develop. He wants to settle down Hamill and get back to business.
That ball hit hard, but they got a man there now. Todd's going to go back, tag, and he's going to move into third. So deep into left center field. 2 down. And right now, let's go down to Sierra Santos.
Hey guys, if you want to notice something cool, Tyler Saladino, he's already got the awesome mustache. He likes to set himself apart. But something also kind of unique is his back decal. So you'll notice that he has Mr. Miyagi and Bruce Lee. I asked him, okay, why those two guys? He said Bruce Lee because his nickname was Bruce when he was growing up on the fishing boats. He said he had hair exactly like Bruce Lee. He also did karate when he was younger, so he was a big fan of the Karate Kid and Mr. Miyagi. He gets them all custom made by a page called JRS Decals on Instagram. I asked him, okay, which one do you prefer? He said, I actually like the Bruce Lee because it's a little bit more colorful and it shows up. So now something to look forward to when you're watching Tyler Saladino at bat, seeing which decal he has on there. Hawk, Steve, let's go back upstairs.
All right, Sierra. Well, whatever floats your boat.
He'll take the one that has a couple of hits in it, or one specifically right now.
Tyler went out to right field his first trip. Tyler, of course, the game-winning hit in Game 1 of this series. In the bottom of the 9th inning, Sox won at 5-4 after leading 4-0. Made a perfect pitch on him right there. 1-2.
Hamel has 6 wild pitches this year. Not the team lead, though. That belongs to Jake Arrieta with 8. So it is Bruce Lee tonight. Hopefully that bat will have a line drive in it.
Well, Mike Leary's got his cameraman tonight all over the place, as usual. Good check, close pitch. I'll tell you, this Rick Hughes here is absolutely amazing.
We both had a chance to talk to him before the game, and there's nobody quicker in baseball.
Not even close.
Putting it up on the scoreboard. It looks like
not even close.
Looks like he's seen it before.
That's foul. Yeah, if you watch the pitcher pitch to the catcher, and the catcher catches the ball, and you look up, it's already up there.
He prides himself on being the fastest in the land.
Well, he is.
And he is that.
But you know how those gunfighters go. There's always somebody a little quicker. Maybe not right now, but down the road, somebody will catch him.
He'll slow down.
Made a good pitch. I'll tell you, he worked him over right there in that at bat. Meanwhile, we'll go to the bottom of the 4th, still scoreless.
coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile, and it's the Sox in this ballpark since 2009. The record 13-6, run differential you see pretty impressive. Overall ERA magnificent. Starters ERA even better. Hopefully that trend continues with this one tomorrow night, and then the season series between these two ball clubs is over.
Here's Anthony Rizzo walked back in the first inning. Just a little bit high. You know, talking about shoulders being active and putting your hands in a better position. I think the poster child for that, the best graphic illustration, is when I say it, you'll see it. You'll see it because we watched him play a lot.
Yep.
Immediately was Ichiro. The biggest drift we've ever seen, yet his hands never moved.
No, and he seemed to be giving everything up and still knocking at the door, 3,000 hits.
Yeah.
What a job.
But when he started that swing, those shoulders took him right into the slot. Three and one to count. Just full.
Looking to get on base any way he can. He took a fastball, very hittable.
He gone. One out.
Making the most of a high fastball. He battled back in the at-bat, threw the last one by him. Just barely got a piece of it, stuck in Deoner's glove. 9 in a row retired by Renato.
Zobrist hit a little soft comebacker to Renato after hitting a couple of hard foul balls. One and one to count. That ball hits sharply. Meanwhile, two down.
Friday, August 5th is Ladies' Night. Come see the White Sox take on the Orioles at 7:10. All fans are invited to stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by Athletico. First 1,000 fans to purchase a whitesox.com/ladies receive a free tote bag. Athletico Physical Therapy, better for everybody.
Montero.
Well, there's a lot of shifting tonight. Shifted radically on Zobrist, on Rizzo, and now especially on Montero.
Well, I love that. As I said, Whitey Herzog, Hall of Famer, manager, wasn't too good a player. But he was the guy who really, in modern day baseball, implemented the big shifts.
Well, he, like every manager that employs it, invites you to just hit the other way.
That's what he does.
Take your power away. If you want to do that, that's fine. But in the meantime,
that was his philosophy on and bring it in.
You'll ground into it.
That was exactly his philosophy on starting the drastic shifts.
Tyler is as far back there once again as you can get without shaking hands with Eaton in right field.
Another thing Whitey would do that managers don't do, except occasionally you might see it done. Robin's done it a couple times, to have 4 outfielders in certain situations, according to the score and who's hitting. Just out of the zone up top. So that'll break a streak of 10 in a row retired by Anthony.
As you can see, hitless. Anthony knew if he could just drop that hook over at 3-2, he'd probably get a called third. But the ball stayed up and out of the zone.
So here's Russell.
Well, you got both Russell and Baez swinging at high fastballs out of the zone and able to get over the top of them. In this case, yanked it foul. In case of Baez, he grounded to third, but both of them were up and out of the strike zone.
If you can cover the high fastball in the major leagues, you can play in the major league. You don't have to be a good breaking ball hitter for you youngsters out there.
Especially in this ballpark with 368 alleys in left and right.
Drops that one on him. Make no mistake about it, pitchers are going to make mistakes with their breaking stuff. Has popped up right side. Tyler, watch out now. Abreu makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. We'll go to the fifth, still no score.
On Lisco in Fairfield, Iowa.
Top of the fifth inning in a scoreless ball game. Renato will lead it off. Hit a little line drive to second base his first time. Had a couple of good swings though. And that ball hit hard into right field. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yeah!
How about that?
We had some good swings the first time.
He did, and he takes it opposite field. It just barely snuck over, but a line drive rocket. Anthony Renato, welcome to the White Sox. First major league hit, and he saved up. Ford home run replay. He got a fastball right down the middle and took it out. 16th Hamill has thrown this year, and the Sox lead.
Adam Eaton takes a breaking ball strike. Of course, with that home run by Renato, Alex Snellius with another generous donation to White Sox charities in loving memory of Ursula. Wow. Eaton is struck out and grounded to short.
There isn't much, but what little wind there is blowing across toward the left field corner, so it would have tried to knock that ball down, but that ball wasn't affected by the wind. It was hit too low. Line drive out of the park.
Well, Mike Leary tells us that's the first home run hit by a White Sox pitcher since, I'll tell you after the pitch.
We'll take a look and we'll flashback to June 14th of 2009 and Mark Burley in Milwaukee. He took it way back there in the pen. Way to go, 56.
And that's into left field. Zobrist is there. So one out. Well, I've never seen Anthony Renato throw a baseball before tonight.
No. Or swing the bat.
I didn't know. When I was standing in the clubhouse before the game, and he comes walking. I was getting a Coke, and I see this huge guy.
As you say, nice sized fellow, huh?
So I gave him a little fist pump. I said, Ken Harrelson. He goes, Anthony Renato, very confidently, you know. But then, what impressed me the most was when I asked you about him, because you know everybody in baseball. You said he was drafted by
Theo.
Yeah. And Jet Hoyer.
Yeah.
That was the most impressive thing about him to me.
A supplemental round pick. That's a high pick.
And coming from a couple of good guys.
Yeah. And it doesn't hurt that he can hit. Of course, he's not going to be using that bat much in an American League lineup. But that's pretty impressive.
That ball hit to the shortstop, Russell. And in case you're just tuning in, so Tim now 1 for 3. In case you're just tuning in, what was impressive about Renato making his first start in a White Sox uniform in a Crosstown Cup Series, he walked the leadoff hitter, Fowler. Then he got Bryant to pop up. Then he walked Rizzo. So he's walked 2 guys, 1 out. Then he had Zobrist on a little soft comebacker, and he retired Montero on a ground ball. Pitched out of it.
And that was it. That was the big problems early, and hasn't allowed a hit yet.
Nelke has walked and struck out. And besides that, that was the 100th home run hit by our guys this year. So Alex Snellius with a lot of 100 generous donations to White Sox charities in loving memory of Ursula.
Nelke wants to keep that hitting streak alive. With the walk and the strikeout, a no contact night to this point.
And that's flipped out into left center field. And that'll do it, but not before the home run by Anthony Renato, halfway home, leading 1-0. Buddy.
You know what Anthony has to do is kind of ward off that adrenaline surge you get by hitting a home run as the only run of the ball game.
Hayward is going out deep to left field. Baez on deck and Hamill in the hole. Count evens at 1.
Anthony's getting that slow curveball over the plate consistently now.
Get over there. All right.
And Todd does a nice job. Because after running to first base, it's a very warm evening, high humidity, and Todd gives him a time to just recompose himself, get back to the task at hand.
With these defenses the way they are today, it's incumbent upon the first baseman to know where his second baseman is. It's incumbent upon the pitcher to know where his defense is. More so now than when they were just standard.
Was a bit of a hanger. Unfortunately, Baez swung through it.
Boy, both he and Russell. They turn it loose. That ball hit hard into center field. JB's got to beat the ball. 2 down.
Not the most spacious of center fields, but JB got a good break. And quickly 2 up, 2 down. The only thing that has stopped perfection since the first inning was that walk to Montero.
Now, in the scheme of things, this has got to be one of the easiest center fields in baseball to play.
I would think once you get a feel for the wind and how it's going to affect everything, because the stands are a lot lower here than they are in most ballparks, so the wind very much a factor. When you get that down, it's not near as much room to cover as many of the ballparks around baseball.
Yeah, but then on the other side of that page, the corners here are some of the toughest in baseball to play. Of course, the toughest right field in baseball to play is at Fenway Park in Boston.
What are the factors besides that curved wall that comes up awfully quickly?
Sun, especially in August and September. He gone. 1, 2, 3 inning, and we're into the 6th, leading 1-0.
Take on the Baltimore Orioles at home on Saturday, August 6th at 6:10. First 20,000 fans will receive a White Sox retro batting practice pullover presented by Coca-Cola. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com.
Abreu, Frazier, and Shuck here in our half, the top half of the 6th inning. Abreu has struck out and popped up to right field. Takes a good pitch to hit for a strike. Perfect pitch, and the count very quickly 0-2.
Hamill has thrown it very well. He's just run into a no-hitter. And the guy who's authoring that also hit the only home run.
For the only run.
Yeah, that's it. That's the sum total of the scoring.
Tell you what, there's a good solid piece of woodwork right there by Abreu. And the only way he's able to do that was that ball was up. He's making it. Boy, he worked Saladino over last time.
He did. Hamill's thrown it well. You see, once a fastball even higher than it was, that one was just above the belt. And I think Montero wanted a face-high fastball, didn't get it there.
If he gets it up, he's okay. If he gets it down, he's okay. That was just the wrong height.
Time to add a little insurance to this precarious one-run lead.
Frazier has hit 2 balls hard. One for a single, one for a double. Takes it down and in for a strike. Well, that's 2 pitches that were strikes that were what you just can't. You just got to tip your hat to the pitcher.
He threw him perfectly.
That's it.
He barely tipped both the inside and then the outside corner. Montero wants him to go in again. Let's see how far in he gets it. Pretty impressive line so far for Hamill, but he's trailing.
Bit of a gap out there in left center. This is bad, and the one at bat to Abreu. He's just not messing around in the middle of that plate.
Well, Hamill's control most of this year has been pretty good. Tonight it's very good.
Uh-oh. Lock him up.
Good Javier Baez at second base, who's got a shortstop's arm and takes big advantage of it. Pretty easy 5-4, and then he pours it across and gets it there in plenty of time.
Here's Shuck. He is going out to left and walked. That was not a strike.
No, he's been around the plate with everything, but just not that one.
Well, the 2 games at our place were world umpire. They're going to miss some. As I said, when you see 300 pitches more, you're going to miss a few. Backs up. Nice movement there by Bryant. Good reaction. And we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Crosstown Classic finale as our ace Chris Sale, 6'6" southpaw, takes a bump against their big right-hander 6'5" John Lackey. And the Cubs coverage begins at 5 with Sports Talk Live, followed by a 1-hour edition of Pregame Live on CSN. So don't miss the Crosstown Classic, brought to you by State Farm. One nothing good guys here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Top of the order, Fowler, Bryant, and Rizzo. First ball, Hunting, high into center field. So a can of corn.
Really, the key with Fowler is the same key with a lot of these left-handers, is keep the ball up, and that's what Anthony is doing, and that's what Deanna is calling. So good coordination between the guy making his first start of the year, first start ever in a White Sox uniform, and a catcher who's getting a lot more play lately. Deanna's called a nice game.
Deanna calls a good game.
Yeah, especially with elevations. He's doing a great job.
As does Alex Avila. Well, you and I have talked about it, and you pitched this way. You pitch more up and down than you did in and out for the most part.
I think it's much more effective.
It is. It's tougher to cover up and down from a hitting standpoint. A lot easier to cover in and out than it is up and down.
If you have an overhand curveball and throw the fastball from the same spot with the same eye level, it's tough to catch up there. And I think that Hunter Wendelstedt wanted to call it a strike, just the last minute flinched and called it a ball.
Well, because of Hamill's control tonight, that's a strike for him.
See, he's been getting them.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to, I'm just saying that is what umpires do. When you're around the plate and you're making good pitches all night long like he's made, he would have got that.
Fastball just over half the time. The curveball, and it's a very good one, 32% of the time. Then slider and changeup combined 18% of the time.
Close pitch, didn't get it. That is high and deep in the left field. And this game is tied at 1. You didn't cancel the postgame show.
Yeah, he stayed right with a curveball. It kind of rolled, and Ryan shows you how strong he is. His 26th home run is 66 driven in.
Well, most guys who get that same pitch and hit it in the same spot on the bat that Bryant did, it's just a high, deep fly ball to left center. With him, you can put it on the board.
He got it toward the end of the bat, but very, very strong.
So here's Rizzo. Looking for it, got it, and couldn't do anything with it. It was up. He has walked and struck out on a 3-2 fastball up.
That was it. The no-hitter, the shutout, and the lead. All given up on a towering fly ball that just wouldn't come down.
Get it up in that wind.
Yep. The wind blowing toward the left field corner.
I'll tell you one thing, regardless of what happens the rest of the way, this man has been impressive tonight.
Well, he came out in a very tough ballpark to pitch against a team that's excellent at home. And throwing up there a beautiful game.
So another good pickup by Rick Hahn. One of the best pickups we've had all year has been Miguel Gonzalez.
Well, that was a great one.
That's into right field. That's kind of fun. 2 down. Chris Bryant, 26 homers. 66 knocked in.
Zobrist has been kept in the infield, and even with the shift on, Saladino is not going back that far on the grass. He's right at the cut of the grass.
Gets a strike. Well, if you go around the horn from first to second to short to third, the Cub infield has hit 71 home runs and driven in 233.
They've got a good one. And
name me a better offensive production infield
from an entire infield
in baseball.
I don't think
Can't
there's
do it.
many,
No.
if any.
No. 71 homers and 233 RBIs. The 2-2 pitch to Zobrist. That's high into left center. But the high fly ball by a very strong man doesn't come down. Home run by Bryant. And this game is tied at 1.
Join the Chicago White Sox charities for the Field of Greens celebratory golf tournament presented by Miller Lite. This year's tournament will be held on Monday, August 22nd at Harborside International Golf Center. Join the fun and sign up your foursome by visiting whitesoxcharities.org or call 312-674-5391.
First pitch, strike to DeHonor.
Action in the pen. Wood, the left-hander, who last night walked 3 in 1 inning.
And talking about that golf tournament, I'm going to give all of you out there watching tonight fair warning. Get yourselves a good team. You better get a good one, because I've got my team already picked, and we are good. We're going to be very good. So if you want to beat us, you better get some players.
You'll have an opportunity.
And we might have a little small wagering going on if you guys want it.
You're probably going to have to handicap that one.
as he gets him. So that'll be a fun day, August 22nd out at Harborside, and for a great cause.
Hamill continues to roll right along. That quick breaking slider that he has been outstanding tonight.
Well, we talked about how Hamill worked him over last time. Mike Leary has put a sequence together for you if we get an opportunity to show it. Takes first pitch strike. And of course that was one of those at bats where you just grab some mitts, that's all.
Now, that time he got one to hit, but because it was a slider, not a fastball, he took it.
Yeah. Late call, but a good pitch and a good call. Two good pitches to hit in this sequence. And none, watch this, and none in this sequence is his last at bat.
No, the wipeout is a real good one.
Well, that's just a work over there. He just, I mean.
Didn't give him anything nothing to hit?
No. That doesn't happen that often as he gets him right there for out number 2. 6 strikeouts now for Hamill, but when you get in a bat like that, you have to be able to say, hey, he just beat me that time.
Get back. How much you can do.
So here's the man responsible for our run, Anthony Renato, first major league hit, and became the first major league pitcher to homer this year.
It's pretty amazing.
First at bat, hit a line drive, low line drive to second base. 6'7", 240 pounds.
Well, you can tell, unlike the last couple of times, there's some sliders in this sequence. And there is the home run. And with that first White Sox run, E-Click Lending has donated $100 to the Pat Tillman Foundation, supporting military veterans and their families.
That was not a strike, but it was close, and he's been getting close pitches because he's been around the plate. And somebody over in our dugout's getting on Hunter about it. As he strikes out the side. 7th inning stretch, tied at 1.
Diamondbacks and bobblehead. Celebrate the only professional two-sport all-star with a donation of $35. There's a limited amount available, so get yours today. Proceeds benefit Chicago White Sox charities. Visit whitesox.com/BoBobble to purchase yours today.
When I said Renato was the first pitcher in baseball to hit up, first American League pitcher to hit a home run this year. So here we go in a 1-1 tie. Montero, Russell, and Hayward.
Both pens up and going. Albers and Duke throwing in the pen.
Hits it the other side. He got a tough play. And makes it. Yes. Beautiful play by Frazier.
Time now for our Xfinity high-speed action replay. It doesn't get much better than this. Moving to his right. Montero just trying to stay alive. Fortunately, he has the speed of a catcher. He gets enough on it to get it there with one step to spare.
I didn't think he had a chance to get it.
Big first out.
So here's Addison Russell. Going out to right, popped up to Abreu. Checks it up, takes first pitch strike. Good pitch to hit.
That was a rolling breaking ball right over the middle of the plate. Fortunately, he didn't.
They call that a
Air it out.
A cookie. Tough. Made it look easy. Tough haul. So 2 out. Out of the last 21 hitters that he's faced, he's retired 19.
No, it's been a remarkable performance, and it looks like Hamill is going to depart the game as the bullpen for the Cubs still going. It looked like Pedro Strop.
Just a little high.
You look at some very impressive numbers. 3 walks, 3 Ks, and just 1 hit.
2 of those walks coming in the first inning. Walt Fowler to lead off the ball game. Got Bryant to pop up. Then walk Rizzo. Got Zobrist and Montero on ground balls. Again, there's a pitch that Hamill's been getting all night because he was around the plate. And the count 3-2. And they'll bring in Baez.
Now Cooper wanting to know if the bullpen is up and ready to go. He knows they're up, and I'm pretty sure he knows they're both loose at this point. There is Aroldis Chapman, who most likely will not come into a tie game.
And he's wearing another former flamethrower's number.
The 54 of Mr. Gossage.
That's him. And here comes Coop.
Well, he's gotten Baez twice, but he's really dangerous. And so Don wants to go out there leaving nothing to chance. Tommy La Stella has grabbed a bat. He's in the on-deck circle, the left-handed utility player for these Cubs. Wants him to keep that fastball away.
Well, one thing about Baez, if you get it anywhere in the zone, whether it's in or out, he can take you out to right, center, or left.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He can get those right center field seats easily.
That double he hit against us off the wall the other night, I'll tell you what, that was in right field.
That was a good one. He had Baez well out in front of that. Perfect pitch. Looking fastball all the way. Doesn't get it. See a little cut.
Two out. 2-1 the count. Decent lead, just a decent lead. If he squared that one up, it was headed towards right center.
105 pitches. All of them have been really good.
Full count.
Same little cutter away that he threw to get strike one on 2-0. It worked very well here.
And Abreu, as he should, is going to hold him on 3-2.
On a double, you don't want him to score, so you want to shorten up that lead.
It is 3-1. Boy, I tell you, those getting me over 3-2 pitches have a tendency to go a long way.
That one bottom of the zone right over the middle of the plate, and Baez lost it. His 11th home run, 37 driven in, gives the Cubs the lead.
First lead of the series.
Ford home run replay. He went to the curveball, and it just came up rolling.
Yeah, that's something that young pitchers have got to learn about major league hitters. 3-2 get me over breaking balls. If you're going to throw breaking balls 3-2, you got to make it a good one. You just can't roll it up there and expect the guy to take it because of spinning. What an effort. What an effort by that young man right there. That's a shame. He really pitched terrific.
So Zach Duke will come in. Anthony Renato will walk off. And we'll step out. Be back after these messages. Our Hyundai call to the pen is Zach Duke. And here it's the bases clean. 3-1 deficit. On for the 52nd time. There you look at the numbers. And Tommy La Stella was announced as a pinch hitter, and he will come out to pinch hit in the lefty-lefty matchup. La Stella 3 for 19 as a pinch hitter this year with a run batted in and a fine performance by Anthony Renato. Giving up just the 2 hits. Unfortunately, both were home runs. And
both were rolling breaking balls.
Same thing. Same pitch.
Good. Ray Miller, your pitching coach at Baltimore. Except on first pitch, ever tell you to just spin one up there?
No.
I don't think so.
No, he did not.
I don't think. That's what young pitchers, you know, some of them never learn. And even some veteran pitchers never learn. They're going to throw, if they call for a curveball or slider, they just spin it up there, thinking the hitter, because the spinner is going to take it. Those 3-2 breaking balls, get me overs, go a long way.
Yeah, Javier Baez awfully strong, getting his 11th. Assuming that all things stay the same, we will see Aroldis Chapman in this game. But you have the 8th first, try to chip away at this lead.
We got 6 outs. We got 6 big ones.
Take a look at both home run pitches on a split screen. One to Bryant, one to Baez. There is a roller down, and there is a roller down. Looks like he's throwing a knuckle curveball, and both went out of the park. But those are the only 2 hits he gave up. It was a remarkable performance.
Well, if he learns one thing, you got to throw that breaking ball in 3-2 with conviction. Talking with one of our pitchers. Here come Robin. Talking to one of our pitchers about just that. John Drysdale had a formula, so to speak. Hall of Fame right-hander. He said if the catcher ever calls for something that you don't want to throw, and you shake it off, and he comes back with it again, and there's even a thought in your mind, he says, you've got to go. If it's a right-handed hitter, you got to throw it right underneath his hands. If it's a left-handed hitter, and you're right-handed pitcher I'm talking about, and if it's a left-handed hitter, you got to throw him a breaking ball down and in, and miss down and in.
Well, as we see, here comes Carson Fulmer. Zach Duke will leave. And we'll step out and be back after these messages. Presented by Coca-Cola at U.S. Cellular Field. Feature tickets as low as $5 in the upper level and $15 in the lower level. There's also special kid-focused activities throughout the ballpark. Plus, parking is available for only $10. Visit whitesox.com/Sundays to purchase your tickets today. The Hyundai call to the pen is the young right-hander, Carson Fulmer. In Harris LaStella at first base. There are 2 outs. There you look at the numbers. It's just his 4th game.
Fowler has walked, struck out, and gone out to center. So the 2-out walk to Hayward. Then a 3-2 rolling breaking ball to Baez, and they lead it 3-1. Oh, and 2. Now it goes to Gibson, Chip Gibson.
Slider in the dirt. Fowler thinking about it. And gets the benefit of the call as this one rolls away. Well blocked by Diana Navarro.
Yeah, he checked it up.
Yeah, good call.
Outfield. Swung around slightly to the left. There he goes. And that's fair ball, says home plate umpire on the left-handed hitter. That's his call, not the first base call, but the 2-run homer by Javier Baez, and we trail it 3-1. Major League Soccer takes over CSN as the Chicago Fire look for 3 big points against the Red Bulls. Coverage begins at 5:30 on CSN with the Spanish language broadcast available on CSN+.
The new pitcher in the ball game, it is Hector Rondon, who now is a setup man to Aroldis Chapman.
First pitch strike to our leadoff hitter, Adam Eaton. Well, as we were talking in the break there, this might be the best 8th and 9th inning duo in the National League.
He had 18 saves and his ERA 195. There you look at some pretty impressive numbers, and now he slots down, and they're really tough on the back end.
Well, when you got those two, you can play a 7-inning game. If they put one more in there, if they can get one more, play 6-inning games, which Kansas City did for a few years.
Pretty well also.
Softly hit, broken bat.
There's a look at the newest addition, Aroldis Chapman.
41,166 in attendance tonight. Pound hits it sharply to his counterpart. He's now 1 for 4.
Hey, sports fans, the White Sox and Bulls summer camps are open to boys and girls ages 5 through 12 and are in over 50 communities. Learn to play the right way. Straight from the pros. Call 630-PLAY-BALL or visit BullSoxAcademy.com to find a camp near you. That one wasn't even close.
Nope, it was not. Melky has walked, struck out, going out to left. Now hits this one right at Zobrist. So quick 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th, trailing by 2. You got Ozzie there tonight? I'm gonna have to watch a little bit of that. The Ozzie. All right, here we go. Bottom of the 8th, 3-1 Cubs.
Not an easy task for young Carson Fulmer as he hits Bryant to start it off, and it doesn't get any easier. Chris had a padded up lead elbow, and it gets the padding.
Yeah, that did not hurt at all.
Nope. When guys do get hit, if they can steal bases, and Bryant can do that, he's liable to take off, so you have to watch him closely. He swiped 6 of them, been caught twice. And for a big man, he's got very good speed.
Rizzo has walked, struck out, and gone out to right. Just a static lead by Bryant. Two and 0 the counts. Finale tomorrow night. Chris Sale for us, John Lackey for them.
Well, he aired out that swing. Chapman continues to work in the pen.
Two-two pitch. Well, unlike that Seattle club we played before coming home to take on these guys in this 4-game series. Unlike Seattle, this is a very young golf club. These guys are going to be good for a while.
And they're bringing up a few more. Contreras looks like he can really hit, and he can play the outfield and catch. And Schwarber's coming back next year. I mean, when he gets in his lineup, the left-handed pop he can provide.
That's going to fall. So trouble of brewing. They're going to hold him to the single. First and third, nobody out. If you're just tuning in, that is just the 3rd hit by the Cubs in this ball game.
Well, that hole at bat, Deanna Navarro was trying to get Carson Fulmer to throw the ball inside to Rizzo. 3 straight pitches he wanted inside, and every one was out away. So if that's going to be the trouble spot, then he's going to have to come up with a little cut on the fastball to get it in there.
Well, if he can't pitch inside, he's got a big problem.
Yeah, lefties are going to have a good look at him.
Zobrist 0 for 3. Also, if you're just joining us, Anthony Renato, 26-year-old right-hander, 6'7", 240 pounds, out of New Jersey, was just awesome tonight. Made a couple of bad pitches, rolling breaking balls, and both of them were hit out of here. Solo shot by Bryant, 2-run homer by Baez.
It was head-to-head, the starters tonight. Jason Hamill threw it well through 7. Gave the 1 run. He's a pitcher of record, as is Anthony Renato, who was excellent through 6 2/3.
3-1. That ball hit deep in the left center field. We got a man there who cannot make the catch. That's going to score one, and it's 4-1.
If you're not very familiar with this ivy, you realize that there's a brick wall behind it and it doesn't give. He's got a beat on it, but the root wasn't good, and then you always come in second to that wall. I think he was wondering if Cabrera was going to get there, and Melky couldn't get there.
So here's Montero. 0 for 3. Frazier made a real good play to get him last time up. Three and 0. Infield halfway. They're in at the corners.
And that's probably going to be it for Carson Fulmer. Robin wants to go to Jacob Turner with the bases loaded and nobody out. So Carson will walk out. Jacob will trot in. We'll step out and be back after these messages. Live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Jacob Turner comes into a mess. Our Hyundai call to the pen. Jacob inherits the bases loaded, nobody out. And he'll look in at Addison Russell. There you see the numbers. He started both of those games. First time out of the pen.
There's Russell. He's gone out to right, popped to first, and grounded to short. Takes that low one away. That's way back. It is 8-1.
First grand slam of the career of Addison Russell. He's got 12 and 60 on a power number. 60 runs batted in for a 22-year-old shortstop. Pretty impressive, as the Cubs have just taken it and blown it wide open here in the 8th. Short home run replay. Fastball down the middle, and Addison Russell gets most of it. Certainly enough to take it way back.
So here's Hayward. 0 for 2 with the walk and the run scored. That was a good game for a while.
It's kind of deteriorated here toward the end.
In a hurry.
Well, this Cub team is a very powerful team, and if you're not throwing strikes to them, you're going to have some problems. It even underscores more Renado's performance tonight, because he held him to just 2 hits through 6 2/3.
A little broken back Kansas City special.
Cubs had Jacob Turner last year, originally a #1 draft pick of the Detroit Tigers. So he knows most of the guys that he's facing.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, it was a good game for 7 innings. They had tied it with a home run by Bryan in the 6th, and then in the 7th, 2-run homer after a 2-out walk to Hayward, 2-run homer by Javier Baez. So it was just a 3-1 ball game. And now here, big 5 spot has crossed the board. Whew.
Pretty good bat speed for that young man.
Yeah.
It's a towering fly ball.
I'm going to show you something on this. Watch this side shot of the swing here. Watch how he releases his right side. Watch his right side. Boy, he gets those hips.
He's going to hit a lot of home runs.
And long ones. That
Yes,
right
sir.
side hip just comes through, powering through there.
Matt Caesar getting in at bat.
1-1 to count with 1 out. 1-0. If you're just joining us, our lone run was a home run by the pitcher. Watch out. 2 down. Anthony Renato became the first American League pitcher to homer this season. That was leading off the 5th inning and put us up 1-0. So here's the 9th man to come to the plate. Dexter Fowler, who is 0 for 3. Over off the screen, protecting our dugout. And once again, a reminder, make your plans to be with us tomorrow night. Chris Sale against John Lackey.
And Roldis Chapman's going to come in the game. Joe Madden got him throwing, but it looked like it was going to be a save situation. And when you get your closer up, you just as soon him get an inning, and he'll get it here.
Yeah, there. Not every manager, but there are some managers. That's one of their credos. They get their closer up and throwing. They're going to bring him in. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
There's a look at one of the best managers in the game. One of the most unusual, unconventional managers in the game.
People. He handles people extremely well.
Well, that's for him, what he talked about all those years he spent in the minor leagues. The best thing that ever happened to him, because he learned to handle players in all different situations. There was nothing, he told me, there was nothing that surprised him when he got to the major leagues about handling of his players.
He gone, but a big crooked number goes up on that board of 5 spot, and we trail it 8-1.
earlier in the game. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here's our Miller moments. Anthony Renato had a really good night tonight. Kept the ball in the zone most of the time, gave up a couple of home runs, and got the Sox on the board with a home run of his own. At the time, giving the Sox a 1-0 lead. And here is Aroldis Chapman. Those are the numbers with the Yankees. They're awfully impressive.
First pitch strike. Everybody looking at the board, and that's 101.
Probably his changeup.
Well, as I said, you've got Rondon for the 8th. You got Chapman for the 9th. That's pretty stout.
Yeah, it is.
And that one, net 101. Jose is 0 for 2 against Chapman with 1 strikeout. He is 1 for 3 tonight in this ball game. That's in the upper tank at 102.
I would think Jose relishes this confrontation.
One out.
Time now for our PNC Bank upcoming schedule. It's the finale of this home-and-home series tomorrow against the Cubs, and it's off to Minnesota with the Twins over the weekend, and after the off day Monday, going to Detroit to face the Tigers.
Here's Todd. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Hard single, rocket single off the glove of Chris Bryant at third, and then a double, hard double into right center field. And he also is 0 for 2 against Chapman. Takes that one at 101. That one at 102.
That slider's at 92. That's just about as hard a slider as we've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Seen some at 92, 93. But all those guys came up with bad arms. Frank Tanana. Meanwhile, another 101. And the count 2-2. That's up high, and that one's going to be 103. Ball hit sharply, sucked up by Addison Russell. 2 down. And here comes Avi. He will hit for Shuck. It was a 1-0 ball game if you're just getting home tuning in. Going to the bottom of the 6th inning. Fowler went out to center, then Chris Bryant got a rolling breaking ball, hit a high fly ball, got it up in that wind, and just went out of here to tie the game at 1. Then in the 7th, 2 out, a walk to Hayward, and a 2-run homer by Baez. On another rolling breaking ball.
But all in all, for Renato,
great,
a wonderful night.
Great.
Yeah, he was as good as you could possibly expect. And Avi, for the first time this year, getting a pinch hitting appearance.
Yeah, if you missed Anthony Renato's debut in a Sox uniform, he was just terrific.
Avi looked like he wasn't going to catch up to that one. That was only his 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
And we got a chance tonight to see a guy in a White Sox uniform for the first time since 1959. Pitch a 1-0 shutout and hit a home run in the game. The last guy to do it in 1959 was Early Wynn.
He won exactly 300 games.
I played against him in this 300th win. He went 5 innings. Jerry Walker came in relief for the last 4 and was just possessed to get that 300th for Gus.
I'm not sure how many more shots he'd have had at it. Gus was running out of gas.
Yes, he was. What a pitcher. Early Win. What a guy. Meanwhile, here's the 2-2 pitch. No.
Laterra wanted a slider, and Chapman shook to the fastball.
That was not a strike. But I'll tell you again, getting back to Anthony Renato, it was quite a debut.
They threw the ball as well as you could expect him to throw it. Took it into the 7th inning, and then the Cubs showed you why they have baseball's best record. They just put it away with the long ball. And that's it for the 3rd game of the series, with the finale coming up tomorrow and Chris Sale back on the mound. I will see you then.
All right, so far, my partner Steve Stone, our director Todd Benjaminson, our producer, future Hall of Fame producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Frost, our very fine technical manager Mark Harper, for the mayor, Ming Joe Groove, and the executive producer Jim Corno Jr. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.